hardship, imperfections, and heartbreak. The reason is because what I have realized is that all of them are very, very important, and they will help you build your character and will be instrumental in helping you achieve a unique feat in your career. Now, when I chose this topic, and I'm sure many of you would have thought why this kind of topic has been chosen. And so firstly, I'd like to talk about something which a lot of us are very scared to talk about, and we are really scared to share with others, and that is heartbreak. Now, some of you must be thinking that there's going to be a love story, and I'm going to share you how things got better. So it's not just about a love story, it's more to it. Heartbreak in the sense that when you prepare for a competition or when you do something in your life which you really want to achieve, and things don't work according to the plan, and your heart gets broken. Similarly, there are times when a relationship with a friend or somebody ends, you feel that your heart has been broken. So heartbreaks are inevitable. They're a part of our life, whether we like it or not. And what I've realized is that dealing with heartbreak is perhaps one of the most difficult things which we will ever come across. In my experience, every time I had a heartbreak, I used to question my self-worth. I used to question my existence, and I used to feel that, what is the purpose of my life? It seemed like a dead end every time something like that happened, and that there is nothing more to life. But what I learned about heartbreak is that the root cause is expectation. When you expect something, it doesn't happen, you have a heartbreak. Now, at some point in time, all of us would have come across a situation of a heartbreak when, like I said, a relationship ends, or when someone or something we love is taken away from us. Now, what do you do in such a situation? You need to be self-sufficient. You need to unburden your expectations, and you need to stop troubling others with your expectations. And what do we do in situations when we face a heartbreak? We look for quick fixes. We do not have the courage to go through the long process of going through the pain and to heal properly and naturally. So we look for an alternative, and we try to come up with anything which can just make us forget it, the pain that comes with it. But I must also tell you that nowadays, you need to understand that you cannot control the feelings of others. You cannot control how others behave towards you. And the problem is that nowadays love is not enough. There is more to life. People have more expectations. Some people want you to be a somebody. Some people want you to have a comfortable lifestyle. Some people look for more, like, you need to have your own identity. But the focus should only be on the possibilities and not the limitation, my friends. Now, what if I tell you that heartbreak can actually be a great thing and act like a catalyst in your growth, in your career and in your personal life? What if I tell you that heartbreak can teach you empathy, transformation, and it can also help you learn more about love and letting go? Now, it may sound that what I am saying does not make sense, but I'll give you an example. I'll give you 3 examples which I have seen in my own life. The first one is when I got rejected in an interview which I had given in my dream law firm, and I'm sure all of us must have gone through a pain of that kind. The second is an example where I was preparing for a moot court, Oxford Prize Media moot court. And I prepared for more than a year, but we couldn't even qualify for the advanced rounds. That was another big heartbreak for me. Another can be when a relationship ended with someone who was very, very close to me and very, very special. Now, in all these situations, what is it that I learned and how heartbreaks actually turned out to be a great thing for me and my career? So, like I said, when these things happened, I felt that there was a dead end and there was nothing more to life. But actually, these things turned out to be and opened many other doors for me, and it gave me many more people who otherwise would not have become a part of my life. Hard work and commitment to and dedication to my routine, all of that actually came from there. What I realized after these incidents is that you need to reassess your career choices. You need to focus on things that truly matter, and you need to understand that work is the best antidote to sorrow that comes with all these kind of heartbreaks. Now, the question is, how do we embrace heartbreak? It's easy to say that, but it is difficult. So, what I have understood is that we need to start accepting and feel that pain that comes with it and let it naturally heal. We need to understand that it is a process which will take time. We need to understand, most importantly, the lesson that it gives us, the learnings that come with a heartbreak. We need to start focusing on that and use it to our advantage. Now, there's another thing which I would like to talk about, which is embracing imperfections. Now, many of you would be thinking that today this person has been invited. He may be perfect, or perhaps, in his profession or personal life, perhaps he would have done quite a lot, and maybe many other speakers who have come here today. But let me tell you, my dear friends, that there is nothing like perfection in this world. Perfection is an illusion. What is perfect is the imperfection in you. Now, what I want to tell you is that the people who have achieved a unique feat in their career, they have merely progressed a little more than others. But nobody is perfect. And this also tells me that all of us, every day, we see that people are sharing only their good things about them, their success stories, their accomplishments. My CV, for instance, is one example which I keep flaunting everywhere. And I keep telling people this is what I've achieved. But never have I ever, and I'm sure none of you have ever shared your imperfections with anybody, not even with your loved ones. And the reason for that is this, that we are scared and we are insecure. We feel that others will judge us, and we only want to share things which are good about us. Let's take example of LinkedIn. Every morning when I get up, I see people only talking about somebody is super excited. Somebody is thrilled to announce that they have achieved something, finished an internship. All things are positive, rosy, and great. There is no suffering in anybody's life if we are to believe the Instagram and LinkedIn of other people. But as I stand here today, I must tell you that I understand that perception has become reality. And reality is becoming virtual, virtual is becoming reality. Things are changing, but you need to understand that your reality, your imperfections are a part of you, and you need to embrace them. And why it should be done? Let us take example of a loved one who comes to you and says that, I'm feeling really bad about myself. The way I look, I don't like it. I don't really feel comfortable doing what I am doing. What do we tell them? We tell them, no, you are amazing. You are beautiful. You are good at whatever you do, and how perfect you think of them. Now, why can't we give ourselves the same treatment that we give to our loved ones? Why can we not be compassionate towards our own self? And why do we let anybody else determine our worth? This reminds me of a Japanese principle called wabi-sabi. You must have all heard about it. It means that there is beauty in imperfection. In every object, the beauty is the imperfection part of that. For example, if you look at old furniture, it is weathered, it looks rustic, and that is the beauty of that. You look at the moon, for example, we talk about the scar, the spot. Maybe that is which makes it beautiful. And on the similar lines, there is another art form of, in Japan, where broken pots are fixed with gold. And then they become so beautiful that, that imperfection in it makes it amazing. In my life, for example, English, like I said, was a major problem for me. It was a major hurdle. I used to feel very uncomfortable speaking in front of others because I used to feel I'll be judged. What I realized is that as long as I was scared to do it and I was not really being open about it, I was actually making it worse for me. And then I started working on my imperfection. I embraced it. I started talking in English, whether others like it or not. And that's how I really was able to improve my language. And as I stand here today in front of you, I'm able to talk to you in that language. There have been instances when I have felt that I have actually sought validation, like many of you. We look for validation just to be perhaps a part of a gathering. We try to be like them. We forget our original self, and we forget about our imperfections. There's a very interesting quotation by Byron Katie, and it could not have been better, said that when you argue with reality, you lose 100% of times. So when you refuse to accept reality is when you get the maximum stress on you. I'll give you two examples. Statement number one, I come from a humble background. Now, what if I have to change it to, I shouldn't come from a humble background? The former is completely okay. But the moment I turn it to the latter, look at the stress that I shouldn't come from a humble background. And this will carry with me all over. And I will never be able to focus on anything. Take the other example. I am dark-skinned. I shouldn't be dark-skinned. Now look at the stress and pressure that comes with it, and we start presuming and assuming that we are imperfect just because somebody else's definition of perfection is not matching with ours. So bottom line is we need to embrace these imperfections. We need to stop looking at them as a negative thing about us. We need to start wearing them as armor on our chest. Now, lastly, I will talk about hardships in life. Best way to deal with hardships is obviously to change your perspective towards it. Like I said, you cannot focus on the limitations. You can only focus on the possibilities. There are things which are not in your control. Take my example, for instance. I was born in a small town. Can I choose that? Of course, no, I can't choose where I'm born. Financially, I was not very sound. Again, that's something either I can just talk about it or I cannot. I studied in Jamia. Either I can complain that I was not in a top national university, or I can do something about it, something meaningful. My communication skills were poor. I had a stage fright. I was not into reading at all. So all the qualities of a bad lawyer I was having. And why am I standing today here in front of you? What I realized is that all these things are just a message for us, and it is our perspective, whether we choose to focus on the thorns in the roses and thank God for it, or we can just focus on that, thank you God for putting roses among thorns. There are people who will complain, who say that, why did you put thorns on roses? So it is your perspective, how you look at things and what you do out of it. When I started working, for example, I was getting a salary of 10,000 and my rent alone was 8,500 rupees. Because of that, to make my ends meet, I had to start teaching for extra money. I had to start assisting people in their books and publications to make some more money. I used to start appearing in district courts on Saturdays so that I can just get extra income and I can take care of my expenses. But look at how it has helped me now. I have published 3 books. I'm currently teaching in one of the best universities in the country. I have more than 60 to 70 publications. All of those skills which came during my hardships have actually been an asset and my biggest strength today, and why I'm standing here in front of you today. My friends, all in all, suffering has been the best teacher because it has bent me, broken me, but always in a better shape. And the thing with hardships, imperfections, and heartbreaks is that they will always be there, whether you like them or not. But whether you learn from them or not will depend on your ability to see your message in your misfortunes. Thank you very much.